Hello, I'm Phyllis George. I'm sure by now you have all seen my Chicken by George in your grocery store, so you know that I love Southern fried cooking. I also love a good old-fashioned Southern televised electrocution. Fortunately for me, I have found a way to combine my interests with my new Convicts by George. That's right, I have taken the beefiest offenders and cooked them up in your favorite Southern-style dishes. There's deep-fried, charbroiled, mesquite grilled, and of course, black and Cajun. They're in your grocery store now, so find them soon. Convicts by George. They may be tasteless, but so tender.
Oh, my mouth is watering.
Well, after that brief word from our sponsor, welcome to Slumber Party. Over here we have Cara Russell, and sitting next to Cara, or lounging next to Cara, is John Carter.
The evil John Carter.
The evil John Carter. Right. Now, Cara, that's for stand-up work?
That's from my stand-up work that I do here and there, little places. I did a fundraiser for Consenting Adults Theater last summer, and that was one of the things I did in that.
Do you do characters or like shtick or singing?
It started out with characters when I first started doing it, and then it kind of evolved into more stand-up work, and now it's hard to find the delineation between me and the characters, so it's fun.
Wow. Okay, that is a brave way to make a living of it.
So if Cara ever invites you over for dinner, you better watch it.
I really don't like it. I really don't like stand-up, but...
You don't like it?
No.
It's just too...
I don't like hanging out in bars, and it involves a lot of that, which is why I prefer theater work, but...
Hey.
Miles,
Okay.
you'd be
I feel
in
sort of
heaven.
slighted here.
You guys, it's just not me, okay?
What's wrong with hanging around in bars?
They're great places.
I'm not judging.
Why would you do it? I mean, to me, that seems like the most
Torturous.
humiliating of all possible jobs to be a stand-up comedian, and to do it despite the fact that you didn't want to do it. That really
Well,
seems...
that's something I sort of found out while I was doing it. Initially, I just did it, I was doing a lot of theatrical comedy, and I just thought I'd like to write my own stuff and do it.
So
And
you've really done it on your own, completely?
yeah, I mean, you always have help, but I opened for Dennis Miller last November.
Wow.
That was a biggie.
How many people?
2,000.
Wow.
That's
They
why
love
people
you?
didn't watch this television.
That's true. Did they love you?
Yeah, well, there was a speaker for alcohol abuse before, against
really?
alcohol abuse, and they loved her, so I knew I wouldn't have any problem.
Good act to follow.
That's great.
But you must are an actress,
Yeah.
isn't that right?
Yeah, that's my main goal.
And you're in The Alchemist right now at the Washington Stage
At the
Guild.
Washington Stage Guild.
And how's that going?
It's going really well. It's very fun. Today we had great fun with a really big audience, and they were loving it, and that's always more fun.
That's great. And it's Mary Tucker and Cam McGee and Jim Zadar, Daniel Escobar.
Keep
Hey, we've had
going.
lots of people
Richard
I
Pilcher,
know.
Bill Largess. It's a big cast. Randall Shepard, Morgan Duncan.
Morgan Duncan.
Thank God,
Yeah.
Morgan.
Oh, shoot. I think that's everybody. Louise Andrews.
And fun.
Yes, yeah, very fun. It's one of those farces with lots of doors, so I have no nails during the show. And I'm playing a guy, so after the show I always worry about having little gray things.
You play a
Stubble.
guy?
Yeah.
With whiskers.
Yeah, I have a stubble in the show, so it's like on the metro on the way home. I'm always like, is it all good?
The pesky 5 o'clock shadow.
Do you play
Tried so hard.
a male and a female character, or just a male character?
No, just a guy. And Mary Tucker plays a guy, too. And we're having fun with that.
Now, is that...
We're doing male things together.
Yeah, bonding.
And is
An
this
Iron
like
John.
a directional choice, or was this a scripted choice?
A director's choice. Yeah, they're the two characters that don't have any sexual relationships with the other ones, so you can play with it some.
Oh, that's great.
So the
And you have a nice voice
the two
for
big
it.
blondes are playing guys.
And use your regular voice, you don't have to like try to talk lower.
No, it's a lot lower.
Your voice is already
Push
pretty
it.
loud.
Then use the Lauren Bacall range.
Let's hear it.
Oh no, remember lines
She's
without
had a hard
context.
week.
We'll do one of Lauren Bacall's lines then. How do you like that?
Good coffee.
And here we have the evil John Carter.
Now, why do you call him the evil John Carter? He looks
Yeah,
just...
why do you call me the
Yeah, why
Well,
do
evil
he took off his cowboy boots, but he looks a lot eviler when he wears his cowboy boots.
Well, I made him take them off, so
Oh,
he
you
couldn't be
did?
that evil. He would have kept them on. He'd have said, hell with you, cowboy.
I actually told him he could wear his boots in bed, Miles. You're undermining
I
my
countermanded your authority.
Thank you.
I hope you don't think
anyhow,
anything
now
else.
you get to see my feet.
Yes, which I thought
Gosh.
was pretty glamorous.
Shame that dog's not
foot-wise.
still here. And John Carter is a poet. Is that how you bill yourself?
No.
It sort of.
What I do is I bear witness. You know, and this is a craft. A what?
That's all right.
Yes, it is
He said
getting
you're getting
cerebral.
cerebral, but she was warning me.
And you know, I have a craft here, and so I use it to, you know, to bear witness to life.
You're a storyteller? More than
Well,
a poet?
why don't we let him perform for us?
Well, I'm not sure what it is.
Are you going to do one? Well, we can let him do it, and then we'll decide.
Okay.
Are you going to do one of your pieces for us?
Okay.
I'll hold your beer for you.
No.
he needs.
Started this week.
Come and dance the moist fandango. Come and wallow in the mire. You upon the flute shall play, and I shall strum the lyre. I'd lead you out upon the floor, where brutal passions rage and soar. I the pirate, you the whore, and now we join the dance. Around us swirl the throngs of dust, their tragic eyes aflame with lust. They reel and swoon and clutch and thrust and die upon the wind. The music burns and weeps and sighs. I stroke your ears with silken lies. You crucify me with your eyes and bathe my loins with myrrh. Come and dance the moist fandango. Come and wallow in the mire. You upon the flute shall play, and I shall strum the lyre. I sweep you off in starry flight, where some can fuck and some can fight. A tightrope down the edge of night, oh, fuck and fight with me. I rage and beg on bended knee, the wolf reduced to charity. You snort in fury at my plea and turn aside your head, but yet our love is fierce and rare. I tremble at your sacred dare. My heart explodes in hungry prayer. I bleed upon your foot. I take your toes between my lips.
Okay, come on. Keep it
My
clean.
name across your hips. And what forbidden honey drips from what secluded smile. Come and dance the moist fandango. Come and wallow in the mire. You upon the flute shall play, and I shall strum the lyre. Come down. Come down with me through realms of pain and ecstasy, past souls decayed from leprosy to the teeming womb of life. We'll gnaw each other's fingertips. I'll tongue your eyes, you'll bite my lips. I'll worm inside your tattered hips, and then I'll eat your heart. So now I lay me down to sleep, and all my organs break and weep to find, beneath that rotting heap, your blood within my bone. Come and dance the moist fandango. Come and wallow in the mire. You upon the flute shall play, and I shall strum the lyre.
Told you he was evil.
That's not evil. Exactly.
Oh, yes.
Well, what could you possibly want for a bed? And
Yeah,
when you
amount of
perform,
intensity.
you perform your pieces.
Mm-hmm.
I hate to go on.
That's the fun part. That's the fun part.
We actually did a performance up in Baltimore
I know,
just
was
recently,
there?
the Bauhaus.
Uh-huh.
And it was incredible. We had, about 50 people?
Yeah.
And John
we had a
would
good
sort of
turnout.
stroll at them, clutching his beer.
And the women would run away.
No, actually, they were completely engaged. They sat there with their jaws hanging. It was great. And people afterwards were coming up to us, and then we saw them later on in a bar. I do hang out in bars occasionally, and they rushed up to us. They rushed up to us and said, "Oh, God, it was great." So it's pretty intense stuff.
It was a good show. What we did that night was pieces from an anthology that I'm trying to put together, which is basically it's an attempt to liberate God from the tight asses. You know, we have
And the interpretation of God also. I mean, this
yeah,
idea
yeah.
that-
I mean, open it up. You know, what is God to you? What is sacred to you? Not even, half the poems don't mention God, more than half. But what is sacred to you? And
and religious experience and
yeah,
epiphanies.
Yeah, and it's a trip. I'm trying to get the damn thing published right now. It's long.
It was an erotic. The thing that you were playing at Bauhaus in Baltimore was some kind of erotic art show or something like that. Wasn't the poetry reading somehow connected the whole
Not really.
theme? Oh, wasn't?
Not really, but we are maybe sometime in late spring going to do a thing up there with an erotic art exhibit.
Cool.
If everybody can bring it off.
If they
there.
let us.
Well, no, they want to do it. They've lost their lease where they're at. They got to find a new space.
Oh, the Bauhaus people.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they figure, what the hell, they can't do anything to us here. If they want to throw us out, we're leaving anyway.
Right.
Yeah, I think, is this kind of the way you want to get at God, through this sort of liberation of free spirit,
Well,
whatever that
I have
is?
my own tale, that when I was a little kid, I had a very rich spiritual life. And, I had an awareness that there was something that had put me here in this very exciting and in many ways beautiful world, and that wished me well in it. I had that
I like
sense.
that part, yeah.
But then, I grew up in a Christian environment, and
Which is very punishment-oriented.
yeah, at least the kind I got into. And, it defined God in a way that I couldn't live with.
Right.
And so I had to, I had to divorce myself from that God. And, but for many years bought the concept that, that they are correct. This is the way God is. I just don't, I can't deal with it. And I checked out other religions, and none of them seemed to be saying what I needed to hear. And finally had the experience of discovering the sacred myself and being able to, create my own concept of God and make it there. And I don't like the word worship. I don't feel that I worship, but I can have a relationship again.
And it's interesting too in the anthology that the different interpretations, everybody's different take on this, they're very similar, in as much as it's all completely internal emotion connecting to nature mostly, but also other human beings. It's
very into
religion.
life. This stuff,
Yeah.
I've gotten just incredible stuff.
So if you're
And it's been so rich for me to collect this.
right, so if you're an aspiring poet, perhaps you could send stuff to the station.
Well, we're
We can forward it to Mr. Carter.
yeah, I don't know if I can bring anything more in the book. It's pretty well
It's this
filled.
thick already.
It's a phone book. It's huge.
But I'd love to get stuff, and maybe there'll be another one someday.
And these are affirmative, are they spiritual?
The general tone is affirmative. I mean, I've got some real dark stuff in there too.
Dark stuff affirms too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's not necessary.
I wanted to try to cover everything that was open and honest, and that was, that had a zest for life to it, or even a rage that had passion in it.
Yeah.
And so it's what I steered away from was conventional religion and New Age.
Yeah.
That kind of.
That's why you
nonsense.
were talking about your voyage from that sort of a stark, punishing God Christian youth to your adulthood and finding a new God. I was thinking how odd it is. I think I have the same one that I always heard about when I was a kid. It's just that I understand it differently now, or I found out that the things that they said.
You're interpreting it differently.
Yeah, I guess I am. I mean, I still see the same guy, and he still does the same things he always did. It's just that they looked at what he did and said it means this, and I look at what he did and said it means this. So.
Yeah, and you're free to do that. And that's
Yeah.
that part of my, one of the things I want to say is that you are free to roll your own,
Yeah. Roll your
As
own
it
dice.
were.
and to make your own interpretation of Christianity or Judaism or any conventional religion, Islam, or to...
I don't think you can even say Islam on television without possibly having one of those jihads put out on you, so watch what you say. Yeah, you can't mess around with Islam.
You gotta go.
And here's Cara trying to maintain a low profile. And you're on telly next week?
The 20th.
The 20th.
You and besides
Saturday
our
the
show.
Right, I mean, this is the most important
Right, of
television
course.
appearance
But the
that she
second most
has,
important
but
television appearance is going
Yes,
to be what?
of course. It is on the 20th, Saturday the 20th, from 11:30 to 1, which seems an odd time to me, on ABC.
we're assuming the afternoon. Sort of morning.
Yeah, 11:30 a.m.
Oh.
to 1 p.m. It's a special Peter Jennings and Bill Clinton talk to children about how to pass a bill. And there's a segment of it,
Bill.
the character Urkel from Family Matters, Urkel passes a bill. And I, and actually several other people that are in The Alchemist at the Stage Guild right now, were the extras for this, and we all ended up having lines with him. So all through this Urkel segment, if you look in the background, it's the same 5 people. It's like all over the Senate and the House and the whole outside the Capitol. It's like, only 5 people work there?
So,
it was very
did you get to meet the
fun.
president?
No, that was the day he came to the Senate, so he delayed our shooting, but we didn't get to meet him.
Oh.
Bummer.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
Peter Jennings, did you meet him?
We're trying to get him on the show.
No, because he's not involved in this segment. He's doing this interview.
So you get to meet Urkel, though, at least, right?
I did.
Oh, God.
So
I
what-
got to talk to Urkel.
And is he just as
Flirt
sexy as
with
he is in
Urkel.
real life?
Yes. Those socks have that, that special
What about the
thing.
specs? Are they real?
Since I wear glasses and I was dealing with which pair of my glasses I was being in each scene, I didn't even notice his glasses. So.
Cara, see, the great mystery of TV, it's still a mystery.
Yes.
What?
Glasses.
Whether Urkel really wears those glasses if he needs them.
Oh, let's see.
Right.
I was watching something on TV, and the guy was wearing glasses.
Scratched through
and
them?
something from the table, went flying off the table and went right to the glasses, like stuck to his eye like this. And I thought, fake glasses?
And he was really very nice to all of us.
He was really
the little interaction that we had, he was very nice to us. Yeah.
Who is Urkel? I mean, can we put this in like a minute or less?
He's annoying.
He's a little nerdy black kid who has high-waisted pants and round glasses, and he's always trying to pick up chicks. And I
Interesting
assume
concept.
ostensibly that they are not accepting, although
You never know.
he has his appeal.
Is he like the new Gary Coleman, the new short, eternally
He's
youthful?
no longer short. He was when he
Oh.
started out, but he's...
Well, he's
there's-
doomed
Like
then,
Lena?
because you got to stay short if you're going to stay one of those.
Oh, it's
kid
working.
roles.
Lop his
for him
legs
now.
off, I suppose.
No, you got to you get those injections to get that kidney disease that Gary Coleman.
That's a good idea, Miles.
Isn't it? Well, I'm not suggesting anybody do it as a career. I mean, do it to your children.
Career
obviously.
choice. Here we go.
No, that wouldn't be a good idea, would it? Stunt your children's growth. Did you ever get married, have kids? Do all
Oh,
this?
yeah.
You did?
Oh, yeah.
Are you still married?
Yeah. Well, I'm married for my second time.
Yeah.
And I've got, between us, we have 4 kids, which we, both of us parent
Which we?
from previous marriages, and they're all grown.
You like that?
Yeah.
They're gone. Bye bye.
Well,
I think that must be a
life
good
is
thing to
easier with them
parents.
gone, but it's,
Quiet.
it's quieter. But kids are wonderful in any phase, and they're wonderful grown.
Maybe you should speak to my parents.
What, do you want to change his mind about parents and kids? And all
Well,
that
no,
stuff?
I think perhaps you could say some constructive things to parents out there.
So did you grow?
Kids need to be accepted for whatever they are.
Yes, I can't imagine you judging them.
No, I get mad at them now and then, and every now and then wish that they would get out this horrible place they happen to be in, But I never had any doubt that I loved their souls, who they really were.
Now, you have a great poem about children misunderstanding their parents.
Do it, man. I'm having a terrible fight with my father.
Come on, here we
So
go.
help me.
It's actually grandchildren.
Grandchildren, sorry.
Granny has this corncob pipe, and the smoke curling out of it smells like incense. Smells better than churches, better than whorehouses, better than any tobacco. It smells like the risen Savior of the earth. So I say, give me a toke, old woman. She flashes me this snaggletooth grin. She hands me the pipe, and I smoke. And man, it is good shit. It goes swimming through my head and spins me around, comes floating down my spine like flowers. And I just kick back, dig all them old codgers, drinking beer, smoking reefer and laughing and belching and farting. One old dude blowing blues harp, some old mama in her crack voice wailing, "Oh yeah, I have found it, baby. And no, it ain't that dollar almighty, and no, it ain't that money-grubbing, born-again God biz that constitutes the state religion, because it be here." And she thumps her eroded bosom. "Because I have great direct pipeline to great goddess, and if you try to follow me, you're one big asshole. because you got to roll your own, and so forth, and so on. The dude now blowing Dylan on the harp, all the old coots singing, everybody must get stoned. When scrubbed and blonde and wearing designer jeans, the kids arrive, and they are appalled at what they see. They're absolutely in a panic to see that their grandparents are dope fiends. Grammy, they holler. Gramps, just say no. But the old reprobates just cackle. One old fart with snot caked in his beard and the Holy Spirit blazing in his eye comes staggering down from the porch and he hollers, "You have it wrong, children. You got to say yes, 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 yes to life, and yes to love, and yes to the craziness in both of them, and yes to tasting forbidden fruit, and yes to trying it all, and yes, yes, yes to this one brief dance on God's green crazy earth, 'cause it's over so soon, so soon." And right at that moment, a look comes to his face of pure amazement, and he clutches at his chest, and he falls to the earth, and he shakes a few times like a banner caught in the wind, then lies dead. But his soul flies straight into the hands of God. And God for a moment pauses to contemplate the reek of its scent, and the timbre of its song, and the colors of its glow, and gulps it down. Like an oyster, and oh damn, it tastes so good.
I like that.
Isn't that great?
I thought you were just going to snort him there at the end. I didn't know what you were doing. Soul buzz.
That may be closer to the truth.
Yeah, that's nice. If you hear him change this someday, you'll know. Hey, I'll slip that out.
I will. I'll keep you abreast of
That's
what.
very eccentric, but I like that.
They're great though. They're performance pieces.
I guess
So you've been working at a lot of art shows?
I
Art openings?
Well, actually, John wrote a
haven't
play.
been working too much until just lately when I began trying to put the anthology around. And we did with another actors before down in DCAC. When about 8 people came out. And then we got this show up in Baltimore, and Lucy joined us, and it really took off.
Not because I joined them. Just
Because of
it was
Baltimore.
incidental.
No,
I
that
wish.
wouldn't surprise me. But
They do
Baltimore
have a
is-
very supportive
Yeah,
arts community.
and especially poetry community up there with Bean
Yeah.
and the.
Oh yeah, it's a wonderful place for poetry. They appreciate it.
Yeah,
The raunchier,
they hear enough of it. That's
the
one
raunchier,
of
the
those-
better.
Well, do you know Bean?
Yeah,
He
yeah,
got,
yeah.
what's this little newspaper?
I don't know who Bean is. I
You
think
don't know
it's a
Bean?
great name for a person.
We had Bean on the show.
Bean-
We had a
Bean is
Baltimore
pretty
poetry
wild.
Show that was absolute. Bean is wild. And Blaster Al Ackerman. And
Him I don't know.
We had them all on the show one time, and boy, they just took off. But that's the thing. In Baltimore, people actually will go hear people read poetry, and part of it is broadening your mind. you
And
know,
the
it's a
poets do get into it too.
Oh, yeah.
You do it enough in front of people, you really, you
Well, Bean has a rock band too, so he's gets out on the stage.
I've
and
worked
crawls
in
around his
performance
belly.
yeah,
art
well,
shows.
Bean is totally demented.
Yeah, he is.
Do you know Sandy Castle?
Performance art.
shows?
Yeah, with John Antone, who's a local, DC local sculptor, and he's traveled to India on grants and stuff, and he also writes performance art, and I performed with him, and
What did you do?
Barbie.
Barbie?
A lot of
She
his
would be like
pieces
a
have to
Barbie.
do with
Your
Barbie
skin
and
is
Ken, and thank you, Revlon thanks you too.
No, all of your skin. It's like translucent, but there's like a hair, a bump, or a hole in it.
Oh, love me, baby.
Oh, stop it.
But anyway.
Thank God you're not sitting next to
But
him.
the poets there are really funny. There was this one guy who was very serious in the lineup, and he was talking to John about what we were doing, and then John said, "And what are you doing?" And I was standing behind John. John was in between him and me, and this guy very seriously said, "I'll be working with mousetraps this evening." And I lost it right behind him. I was so glad John was in between us.
So what was he doing with his mousetraps?
He was doing performance art with mousetraps, stepping on them in his bare feet.
Nice. I think that's insanity.
That kind of performance art, has he cut anything off?
I don't think so, but he may have worked up to that now. So.
Hey, he's not talking rat traps here. It's got to be them little mouse traps.
Yeah, and there was another guy in Baltimore who did all of his poetry is about cars. So you may have seen him. He does headlights on his knees.
No, I haven't seen that guy.
That's a great idea.
It is.
So now you were Barbie?
Yeah.
And what did you discuss, sort of life?
Well, John writes it. It's John's gig, so I sort of just go with the flow.
Oh, that's great.
Gig.
Could you take your leg and just jump over your head like a Barbie? Either one of them, both directions at once?
If I want to, I can.
She can do anything. She gets really into her character.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Unbelievable.
She becomes Barbie.
She likes the feet stay permanently pointed like this, the little toes point on the end, so you can wear this little high heel mule.
No.
Poor little Barbie.
Yeah.
I always imagined that must have looked like everything.
Mary Tucker can do the best Barbie feet in the world.
Really?
Yeah.
Are they like this long?
But she's not here, so.
Yeah.
Just have to imagine. Okay.
Have you guys worked together before?
No, it's weird. I was just asked that the other day, and we should be sisters.
Absolutely.
At some stage or another.
Yeah.
No one has seen fit yet to cast us as that.
No.
But one day we will work together.
So how did you end up knowing each other? I mean, just part of the same community?
Yeah.
You talked about her like she was your old
Well,
dormitory mate or something.
She is my old pal.
Oh, no, she's your old pal.
But we've never actually worked together. She just gets me jobs. Actually, I owe you money.
Dinner.
Oh, well, don't do it now.
It was dinner.
Oh, dinner.
It was a big dinner.
Oh, I'm sorry. It's going to be a major dinner.
Well,
Now,
maybe.
you have strange animals. Is this correct?
I have a rabbit right now.
A rabbit.
And she is strange. I've lately realized that she is having a lesbian affair with one of the cats in the house.
Hey,
Oh,
wow.
no.
I was very upset about this. I thought, what did I do wrong?
What, the cling film was missing.
But see, this cat thinks she's a rabbit. I think it's because the rabbit has all these uncat-like things. So, but I've had. I used to work at the Humane Society for a while, so I had. At one time, I had 2 dogs, 2 cats, a parakeet, and a squirrel monkey.
A squirrel.
Squirrel monkey.
Yeah, which is never have a monkey.
No,
one ever had.
When I was a
monkey.
kid, living in New Jersey, walked out on the street, and a friend of mine had a monkey. This monkey was this big, right? With, arms are like this long. And being a bad boy, of course, I smoked, and I had my Marlboro crush-proof pack in my pocket. Now, here's a monkey. This thing's like a little bit bigger than a squirrel, I suppose. His body is small. And he reaches over in my pocket and grabs my cigarettes. And I go, hey, not you, little son of a bitch. And I grab the pack. And this monkey just pulled me. I mean, this thing could have pulled me off balance and throw me to the ground. And the thing is this big. They must have like a system of incredible pulleys and gears and stuff inside them that increases their strength like 1,000 times.
It was mine. I would.
They're terrifying.
In the middle of the night, I'd walk by his cage in my nightgown, and as I walked by, he'd grab from my nightgown and screech while he masturbated.
It's like the guy
This was
in
his,
Silence of the Lambs.
20 hours out of the day, but this was his major activity.
They say
It was like having your very own dirty old man in a cage. It was
What would you do if you were locked in a cage all day, huh?
I don't think I'd wank 20 hours of the day.
Well, if you couldn't read, and you didn't understand what was the stuff that was on television,
I'm horrified.
what would you do?
Exactly.
just this constant glassy-eyed look from him. And I was like,
Harry Potter.
Normal behavior under the circumstances.
They call them the great apes, but I don't know why.
Well, I hope if I was a monkey stuck in a cage, at least I'd get to watch Slumber Party, and then I wouldn't have to.
Oh, I think if you watch, I
Believe this.
think a lot of people